Welcome to Lesson 2.3 of the Grant Architect course. In this lesson, we will develop mastery of foundation databases, primarily Foundation Directory Online and its free alternatives. While the previous lesson focused on federal opportunities through grants.gov, this lesson turns to foundation research, which requires different tools and approaches. Foundation Directory Online, operated by Candid, is the premier database for foundation research, though its subscription cost may be prohibitive for some organizations. Fortunately, free alternatives like ProPublica Nonprofit Explorer and state foundation databases can support effective foundation research. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to use foundation databases effectively, including taxonomy codes and filters to identify and evaluate foundation prospects. The foundation database landscape includes several key resources with different capabilities and costs. Foundation Directory Online, operated by Candid, is the premier comprehensive database for foundation research. It aggregates information from IRS filings, foundation websites, and other sources to provide searchable profiles of foundations, their giving patterns, and their grants. Foundation Directory Online requires a subscription, which can be expensive for smaller organizations. GuideStar, now part of Candid, provides nonprofit profiles and financial data drawn from IRS filings. It allows you to look up specific organizations and access their financial information. Basic access is free, with premium features requiring subscription. ProPublica Nonprofit Explorer is a free resource providing access to 990 data for nonprofits and private foundations. While it lacks the sophisticated search and filtering capabilities of paid databases, it provides direct access to tax returns that reveal foundation giving patterns. For organizations without database budgets, ProPublica is an essential resource. State databases and regional resources often provide information about foundations focused on particular geographic areas. Many states have associations of grantmakers or community foundations that maintain directories of local funders. These resources are particularly valuable for community-based organizations seeking local support. Foundation Directory Online provides comprehensive coverage of the foundation landscape. With over 140,000 foundation profiles, it offers the most complete picture available of private foundation giving. This coverage includes large national foundations, smaller family foundations, corporate foundations, and community foundations. Grant data in Foundation Directory Online includes millions of grant records that you can search by recipient, subject, location, and other criteria. This allows you to identify which foundations fund work similar to yours, analyze giving patterns, and assess likely grant sizes. The ability to search grant history is one of the database's most powerful features. Advanced filtering enables sophisticated searches using multiple criteria simultaneously. You can filter by foundation geography, grantee geography, subject area, types of support, population groups served, and many other criteria. These filters help you narrow from the full universe of foundations to those most likely to align with your work. Current information comes from regular updates, drawing from new IRS filings, and direct input from foundations. Foundation Directory Online continuously adds new data as it becomes available, making it more current than raw IRS data alone. However, some lag is inevitable given the annual filing cycle. Taxonomy codes are standardized classification systems that help organize foundation-giving data and enable effective searching. The philanthropy classification system used by Foundation Directory Online provides a comprehensive structure for categorizing foundation activities. Subject codes classify foundations and grants by topic area. Major subject categories include arts and culture, education, environment, health, human services, international affairs, public affairs, religion, science and technology, and social sciences. Each major category has subcategories for more specific searching. Understanding subject taxonomy helps you identify foundations focused on your issue area. Population codes classify foundations and grants by the populations they serve. Categories include age groups such as children, youth and elderly, demographic groups, people with disabilities, and many other population categories. If your work serves specific populations, filtering by population codes identifies foundations with matching focus. Support type codes classify the forms of support foundations provide. Categories include general operating support, program support, capital campaigns, equipment, research, technical assistance, and others. Understanding support types helps you identify foundations providing the type of support you need. Some foundations only provide certain types of support. Effective search strategies help you use foundation databases efficiently. Starting broad, then narrowing helps you understand the scope of possibilities before focusing. A search for health foundations nationwide might return thousands of results. Adding filters for your state, grant size range, and specific health focus progressively narrows to more relevant results. Multiple approaches ensure you find all relevant foundations. Search by subject to find foundations funding your issue area. Search by geography to find foundations funding your region. Search by grant size to find foundations making grants in your needed range. Search by recipient type to find foundations funding your organization type. Each approach may surface different prospects. Peer analysis searches for foundations funding organizations similar to yours. If you know peer organizations doing similar work, search to see which foundations have funded them. These foundations have demonstrated interest in your type of work and may be strong prospects. Keyword variations account for different terminology. Search for both health and healthcare. Search for children, youth, and young people. Different foundations and database coders may use different terms for similar concepts. Comprehensive searching requires vocabulary variation. Geographic filtering is essential for foundation research because many foundations have explicit geographic restrictions. Foundation location indicates where foundations are headquartered or based. While useful, foundation location does not necessarily indicate where they make grants. A foundation based in New York might fund nationally or might focus on a completely different region. Giving geography indicates where foundations actually make grants, which is more relevant than foundation location. Filter by giving geography to find foundations that fund your service area. Some databases distinguish between primary giving areas and occasional giving outside primary areas. Local focus characterizes foundations concentrated on specific communities, cities, or regions. Many family foundations and community foundations focus intensively on particular areas. If you serve a specific community, identifying locally focused foundations is essential because these foundations prioritize local organizations. National scope characterizes foundations giving across broader areas. Large national foundations fund across the country or even internationally. They typically have more competition but also more resources. Understanding whether a foundation is local, regional, or national helps you assess fit and competition level. Foundation profiles in databases like Foundation Directory Online contain key information for evaluating prospects. Analyzing profiles systematically helps you assess fit. Giving priorities describe what the foundation says it funds. Profile sections typically summarize the foundation's stated priorities, focus areas, and restrictions. Read these carefully to understand what the foundation is looking for. However, stated priorities may not fully reflect actual giving. Grant history shows what the foundation actually funds. Review lists of recent grants to see the types of organizations, projects, and amounts the foundation has supported. Sometimes actual giving patterns differ from stated priorities. Grant history provides ground truth about what the foundation really funds. Financial capacity indicates the foundation's size and giving level. Asset size provides context for giving capacity. Annual giving totals show how much the foundation distributes. These figures help you understand whether your request size is realistic given the foundation's capacity. Application information explains how to apply and who to contact. Some foundations accept unsolicited proposals while others work by invitation only. Application guidelines specify required materials and processes. Key contacts may include program officers or executive directors. ProPublica Nonprofit Explorer is a valuable free alternative for foundation research. Free access makes it available to all organizations regardless of budget. There are no subscription fees or registration requirements. You can search and access foundation information immediately. The platform provides direct access to 990 data from IRS filings. You can view the actual tax returns Foundation's file, including all the detailed financial information they report. This is primary source data, more complete than summarized database profiles. Search capability is more limited than paid databases. You can search by organization name and filter by location, but sophisticated filtering by subject area, grant size, or other criteria is not available. You need to know what you are looking for rather than discovering through filtered searches. Grant lists from Part 15th of Form 990 PF show grants paid during the tax year. This section lists recipient names, locations, purposes, and amounts for each grant. Analyzing grant lists reveals what foundations actually fund, their typical grant sizes, and the types of organizations they support. This is the same data that paid databases organize and make searchable. State and regional resources supplement national databases with local information and access. State associations of grant makers exist in many states, bringing together foundations, corporate giving programs, and other institutional funders. Many associations maintain member directories that provide information about local funders. Some offer searchable databases of members giving interests and contact information. Community foundation resources provide information about local giving. Community foundations often have staff knowledgeable about local philanthropy and may share information about giving trends and opportunities in your area. Building relationships with community foundation staff can provide valuable intelligence. Regional databases exist in some areas. Certain regions have developed specialized research tools for local foundation research. Check whether such resources exist in your area through local nonprofit support organizations or regional associations. Library access to paid databases is often available through public libraries, university libraries, or nonprofit resource centers. Foundation Directory Online and other subscription databases may be accessible for free at local institutions. Check your local library's online resources or visit in person to access these tools without personal subscription costs. Saving and organizing your research ensures you can build on previous work rather than starting over. Database tools within Foundation Directory Online and similar platforms allow you to save searches for repeated use, create folders to organize prospects, and maintain notes on foundations you are researching. These tools help you work efficiently across multiple sessions. Export capabilities let you download data for analysis outside the database. You might export a list of foundations matching your criteria to a spreadsheet for further evaluation, or export grant data for analysis of giving patterns. Exports allow integration with your own tracking systems. Tracking systems should maintain your prospect files in whatever format works for your organization. Whether you use a simple spreadsheet or a sophisticated CRM, create consistent records of foundations you have researched, your assessment of fit, and plan next steps. Good tracking prevents duplicated effort. Update schedules keep your research current over time. Foundation priorities and giving patterns change. Information you gathered last year may be outdated. Build habits for periodically updating prospect files, checking for new 990S, and reviewing foundation websites for priority changes. Effective foundation research combines multiple sources, each serving different purposes. Databases for discovery leverage the search and filtering capabilities of Foundation Directory Online or alternatives to identify potential prospects. Databases help you find foundations you did not know about and surface possibilities matching your criteria. They are efficient for initial identification. 990S for verification use primary source tax return data to confirm and deepen database findings. If a database says a foundation funds youth programs, verify by examining their grant list in the 990. If the database shows typical grant sizes, verify against actual grants listed. Primary sources provide ground truth. Websites for currency check foundation websites for the most current information. Databases may lag behind actual changes. Foundation websites show current priorities, deadlines, and application processes. Always verify database information against foundation websites before applying. Networks for intelligence supplement database research with knowledge from colleagues and peers. Who has applied to this foundation? What was their experience? Is there insider knowledge about priorities or preferences not captured in public data? Peer networks add valuable context that databases cannot provide. Understanding common mistakes helps you use databases more effectively. Over-reliance on databases treats database information as definitive when it may be incomplete, outdated, or inaccurate. Databases are tools for research, not substitutes for it. Always verify important information through primary sources and direct contact. Ignoring small foundations misses opportunities that may not be well documented in databases. Smaller family foundations may have limited database profiles but genuine interest in supporting your work. Database research should complement, not replace, other research approaches, including peer networking and local knowledge. Outdated searches fail to adapt as your needs evolve. If you created saved searches 2 years ago based on then current priorities, they may no longer match your current focus. Review and update saved searches periodically to ensure they remain relevant. Superficial review stops at profile summaries without deeper analysis. Reading that a foundation funds health and human services is not enough. What specific aspects, what populations, what grant sizes? Dig into grant histories and full profiles rather than relying on summary descriptions. Developing an effective database workflow ensures consistent, productive research. Regular sessions mean scheduling consistent time for foundation database research rather than doing it sporadically. Weekly or bi-weekly research sessions build your prospect pipeline steadily. Consistent effort yields better results than intense bursts followed by neglect. Systematic coverage works through databases methodically rather than randomly. Plan which searches to conduct, which geographic areas to cover, and which subject categories to explore. Systematic approaches ensure you do not miss relevant foundations while avoiding redundant searching. Documentation habits record findings as you research. When you identify a promising prospect, capture key information immediately. When you decide a foundation is not a fit, note why, so you do not reevaluate later. Documentation builds organizational knowledge and saves time. Progress tracking monitors your research coverage over time. How many foundations have you evaluated? Which areas have you covered thoroughly? Which areas need more research? Understanding your coverage helps you allocate future research effort appropriately. Database research should lead to action, not just accumulation of information. Prospect list development is the primary output of database research. Your research should yield a prioritized list of foundation prospects with assessed alignment, contact information, and notes on application approach. This list becomes the foundation of your foundation fundraising efforts. Next step planning determines appropriate actions for each prospect. Some foundations may be ready for applications, others may need more research, some may warrant cultivation before formal application. Identifying next steps ensures research leads to action. Timeline management schedules research completion before relevant deadlines. If a foundation has an application deadline approaching, complete your research in time to prepare a quality application. Build research timelines that support application timelines. Integration connects database research with your overall prospecting strategy. Database research is one component of comprehensive prospect research that also includes government opportunities, corporate prospects, and relationship cultivation. Integrate your database findings with other research streams. Let us summarize what we have covered in this lesson on Foundation Database Mastery. Key resources include Foundation Directory Online as the premier comprehensive database with ProPublica Nonprofit Explorer as a valuable free alternative. State and regional resources supplement national databases with local information. Library access may provide free access to paid databases. Core skills include understanding taxonomy codes for subject, population, and support type, using geographic and other filters effectively, and analyzing foundation profiles including both stated priorities and actual grant histories. These skills enable efficient database research. Workflow development involves scheduling regular research sessions, working systematically through databases, documenting findings consistently, and tracking research progress over time. Good workflow habits yield better results than sporadic efforts. In our next lesson, we will explore keyword triangulation, the practice of varying terminology to uncover hidden opportunities. Different funders and databases use different words for the same concepts. Learning to search with varied vocabulary ensures you find all relevant opportunities rather than missing some due to terminology differences.